service. They're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. DiaThrive.com. That's D-I-A Thrive.com.
Is it Wednesday? Happy Hump Day, folks. It is Hump Day. Oh. Hey. Julie, what day is it? It's time to eat a Camel burger. That's what it is right now. Can I tell you? There are so many variations. Okay, sorry. Closer? Oh, no, somebody's not speaking yet, but he will. Here, let's push that back here.
Hi there.
Yes, so we have a special guest in the house today, Summy Schick. Summy was one of the first loyal listeners of mine. Oh, gosh, almost 3 years ago when I was back at the other location with Doc Thompson. Actually, before I even went to that location in Irving, at some undisclosed location, in a bunker in Irving, deep underground. But I actually was broadcasting from Doc's house up in Bentonville, and I did 2 broadcasts up there. And within, I think, 3 or 4 broadcasts, you had reached out, and I think you said something to Doc about, man, good segment. And that was the first compliment I had. So thanks to you and Doc's prompting, because I think he was struggling to find content, because Skip had gone AWOL. Love you, Skip. Sorry, but I'm throwing you under the bus. Skip had gone AWOL. So I was used as filler material, literally. But he actually highlighted your comments a few times to me, and it made a big difference. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, we're going to push that back towards you. All right, so here's the deal. You get those of you that are not watching or viewing on Facebook Live right now on Spoony Radio channel or Spoony Radio page. There is a disdain for gentlemen, especially of our Summy's class, to put a phallic-looking object in front of their mouth within an inch. I'm just saying. Jeff's looking at me. God, you're an ass. No, I'm an ass. I own that, dude. That's the funniest thing I've seen all day, maybe all month. Jeff's funny. All right. So, but we have this. It just feels weird because no one. How often do you speak into a mic? Like once a year, once every 10 years? I mean, for me, it's unfortunately very frequent because that's how I earn my living. And no comments, Jackhole Nation. Just saying. But Summy, seriously, you every year go down to the pie competition in Florida. And what is the name of the competition? Oh, come on, dude. You got to be quicker. I'm just joking, Summy. I'm just joking.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm messing with Summy. Summy's like the kindest, gentlest soul I've ever met.
The name seems to change. The company, the organization that brings it is called the American Pie Council.
That's right. So the American Pie. And, so as Summy invited me last year, he said, you should compete. I'm like, no, I'd rather just eat pie. I love baking pie. But eating pie is way more fun than baking pie. And not only that, I mean, this is a serious competition. So how many entries do they have on average every year? I mean, several hundred, I'm sure.
A few dozen.
Is that it?
Yes.
It seems, because I look at that big presentation table, it's like 170 or 270 pies.
Yes,
but they have multiple categories, obviously.
Yes.
So how many, the average competitor, how many categories do they enter?
I think most, they're probably in a half dozen, maybe up to 10, some people. I broke my own personal record this year and made 3.
Hey, I've never entered in more than one. I've never entered a single pie competition. However, are you around next Sunday? I know that's our day of grace, but are you going to be around?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's a pie competition. There are 3 professional pie, like baker shops in the state of Texas. There's an EAT class, an EAT, which is a certification for judging for the World Food Championship, which if you want to go, I'd offer to subsidize that, by the way. But it's on Sunday. It's 11 to 2. And what's very cool is, well, A, we get to judge pies, but 2, we will become certified judges for the World Food Championship, which is held right here in Dallas this coming October.
Oh, Well, please give me the information. I'll mull it over.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know it's again, it's our day of it's our day of rest. So, as believers, so we won't go any further into personal convictions. As Jeff, it's funny because Jeff is also a believer as he blows this huge puff of smoke from his vaporizer.
It's not smoke. It's
No,
vapor.
I'm sorry, it's water vapor.
It's just vapor, man. You don't have. I mean,
Same difference.
Can I tell you what?
No.
Did you see the hat? Did you see the hat? This is on our Doc because Doc always wore these effed up hats where the brim was kind of either broken or the fabric was missing or he had a hole in the breast pocket of his shirt. I mean, not just the breast pocket, like where his actual his
Well,
nipple
Doc
was
was
feed
cheap.
through.
He'll be the first one to tell
Yeah,
you.
but
He's cheap.
Yeah, and he never liked to play big or little spoon either. I know he's shorter, but man, it was my idea. Could I not play big spoon for one night? Just one night. Look, we miss Doc dearly. If it weren't for Doc, I would have never met Jeff or Ron or Matt or Summy or any of the other followers and listeners that we have that are not any, but most and many that have been loyal listeners and contributors to this day. So, as a matter of fact, at the top of the second hour, Pat Gamir, who is this lovely, amazing lady who I offered about 2 years ago to do some free consulting through the Blaze. And I was on Doc's show at TMB. I offered 15 free minutes, right? Maybe 30 max. I think we've talked about 8 hours on the phone in the first month and probably 20 hours since then. But that's only because she's become a friend. She and her husband Doug are amazing people. They honored Doc in an amazing way at his memorial, and I can't wait to talk to her on the phone because I was a bit skeptical, but she and another listener, Holly, wanted a show on the food side, and I was like, oh, Jack Hole Nation wants a food show. And I'm not. It's not because I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical of myself. Do I do a good job every day? I go back and listen. I'm like, red mark. Okay, green mark, red mark. So I try to refine every day. But listening to their show, it was really funny. It's called Real Food for Real People because I talk about highfalutin, perhaps above average dexterity in execution. But ultimately, I grew up in a very moderate income household where we were probably below the median average. As a matter of fact, we were fairly poor. Most of our food came out of the garden or my grandfather's dairy or his beef cattle ranch.
Wow.
And I don't forget about that because that was the basis for everything I cook, right? These wonderfully flavorful and nutritional vegetables just harvested. And this beautiful organically raised beef that we didn't know was organic, but it was amazing, right? Because they grazed it on the land that was formerly the farmland, right? The garden. And he had so my grandfather had 2 miles. He basically had like 5 sections of land. That's a lot. That's like 5 miles by 5 miles. It wasn't exactly that square, but it was huge. And I was very, 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 very blessed.
I envy you.
Well, so here's the thing. I get on my high horse once in a while about, what do American people, why are we so gluttonous? And it's easy. We are very remote. We're removed. We're not connected to the food we eat, right? We're a push-button society. We walk into any store, any kiosk, any vending machine. We throw in a couple of bucks. We get $5 worth of food, so we think, and we eat it. I mean, it's a very high calorie density, very low nutritional value diet that we have in general. But there's some really cool things that are happening. So there are like 50,000 families in the country. Check that. There are more like 200,000 families in the country. Check that. There are like 350,000, almost 1 million families in the country that raise their own chickens, even if they live in suburbia. So you may have a home that's in a city center. Maybe you don't have a big backyard, but you still have chickens that lay fresh eggs.
I know someone who often gives me eggs from his own coop.
I know someone who gives you eggs that from his own coop. That you gave me eggs from his own coop from your gifting, and not just chicken, but you also gave me some duck eggs. Is that correct?
Duck. Don't quite remember.
Is it goose or duck? You gave me last week. You gave me some eggs, right? Go pull them out of the fridge. They're right there in a dozen container. You gave me something last week. It was not just chicken eggs. Was it duck and goose, or was it goose and I think it was duck and chicken, right? No. I'm challenging you now. Take the headphones off. Walk to the refrigerator. It's the small dozen. There's an 18 pack and a 12 pack, but the goose eggs are much bigger, and the duck eggs are as well. The difference with those is that they're very eggy, so to speak. You know, you think about boiled eggs have that smell. They leave kind of in the kitchen for a day. Well, when you boil goose eggs or duck eggs, it's more like 3 days. They're delicious.
I remember last things I remember bringing are my pies. I've been bouncing them off of you for a while.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't you. But she looks like you. I'm joking. It was actually Derry O'Connor. I'm sorry. I mixed you all up. But some of you've been bringing me stuff for so long. You're the only person that brought us stuff for so long. I was thinking it was just you. So I'm thinking, oh, I got eggs in there, and it's duck and chicken. It must be Summy.
Although I have purchased them, one at a farm, two from another chef I know, 3 from the farmer's market store in Grapevine.
Oh, wait, where's that? Where's that? I need to write this down. Grapevine farmer's market store?
Oh, just the downtown area. They also have duck eggs.
Okay. There was a great restaurant I went to one time there called like Chez Danielle or something like that. And it was not a good night for me. I had a seizure, and no, it was terrible actually. But it's usually due to dehydration and terrible levels of electrolytes. But that was one of the best restaurants I've been to in this entire region. And I tried to go back. I tried to call the chef. They were closed. Never reopened again. I mean, I hope I didn't cause that. By the way, anyone affiliated with Chez Danielle, I'm very sorry for that evening. But regardless of what you're doing, unless you're a dishwasher and don't speak English, well, in which case, yo entiendo mucho español, pero habla muy poquito. Okay, so I understand a lot, but speak a little. You can come on my show, and I will try to find you another job in the DFW area, because I'm hoping I didn't shut the restaurant down. It's about a week after the incident. So it's happened twice. I've been extremely dehydrated and deficient of electrolytes, and more than that, even greater deficiency of vitamin D. But back to what we're saying. So do you eat duck eggs? Have you ever had duck eggs?
Yeah, a few times. As I said, I even purchased them over in Grapevine. Also, this other chef I know, he has a dining experience. Sometimes I've had him there.
Wait, is this your chef that chef?
Yeah.
Wait! But Summy, we digress. What is that chef's name? Because let's give him some props.
Ben Starr.
So Ben Starr, if you don't know who he is, he's down in the Deep Ellum area, right?
That's where he usually hosts his
he does a pop
dining experience. He actually lives in Louisville.
Okay, so Louisville, and yeah, that's like 25 miles away from downtown, right on the other side of Deep Ellum. So, all right, Ben is not just a chef; he hosts these amazing dinners.
Yeah.
Like how many? Like 6 a year, basically.
More regular than that. Usually monthly, a few weekends out of the month. He does have a lull, like
summertime.
Summertime, yeah.
That's pretty normal. You see, look, chefs, we either have a lull in late summer, right after July 4th through like Labor Day, right? Yeah. Or it comes in like February, March, which is the late winter season, depending on where you're. If you're down here, we don't get a lull, but up north we get a lull. Yeah. It's mud season there. Here it's like, spring has sprung. But you've invited me several times to go to his dinners.
Yeah.
All right, and I thank you for that. I have not gone with you yet, and you've been postponing. And I think you even did not go on your birthday weekend, right?
Oh, I went at my earliest convenience.
You went without me. I'm just joking. So Tell me a little bit about the menu, because you brought some amazing product back, not from this dinner, but from that chef. There's a pork we're going to talk about in a minute, because I know y'all think I hate bacon. I'm looking at you right now. Jackhole Nation, all you on Twitter, this is at Food Biz Pro. Stop effing with me. I love bacon. More than anything, I like, bacon's pretty good, but pork belly's better. Don't cure it. Just sous vide the whole thing, cut it in one little chunks, man, and you serve that with some really good, tasty, something crispy and something rich with acid that cuts through that fat. Because I'll tell you what, top 10 foods, pork belly came in as number 1. 5 years in a row, baby, 5 years. So don't tell me I don't love bacon. I do. Just don't put it in my ice cream. That's all I ask. Or not my coffee, but Doc's coffee's okay, right? So.
It never occurred to me when I first asked the chef to get some for me. But he asked which cuts I'd like.
And you said belly?
Yeah, belly was one of them. The other had to ask for loin.
Well, do I owe a little money for that, Sammy?
No, he didn't charge me at all.
Somebody didn't? Okay, look, that's rare. That a chef, well, it's not so rare. Okay, so I dislocated my shoulder like 6 times in my life, and just recently, in the last week or so, it's been another 2. I mean, the first time it happened, it was out for like 7 hours before they put it back in. And look, Scripps Memorial Hospital in north of La Jolla, I love you, but damn, you all got a long wait for 2 people in line in the waiting room. I'm just saying. But I don't know. I lifted my bag out of the back seat yesterday or the day before, and it's been really driving me nuts. I can't sleep. I can't. I don't want to take any pain pills before the show because some of you have to host. Yeah, if you host the show, we just bring this Doc talking from beyond the grave.
It'd be a lot better show.
Ouch!
I'm sorry. Oh, my mic button was open. I'm sorry. My bad.
Would you pull that knife out of my back and put a little salt on there? Salt on there for me? Not source, but salt. Not even Worcester salt. No, straight salt. Not kosher salt. No, I mean the really nasty, the stuff with iodine out of the
rock salt.
There you go. Yeah, it'll stick for a long time. No. Look, no. I didn't want to hinder my performance today, so I took a leave, which is not. It does take the edge off, but man, that is really sore. If you ever dislocated a joint,
hard to
Jeff,
remember.
or as a fellow fringe, a liver on the fringe of society, don't answer that question, or do.
Yes.
Have you probably dislocated a knee or a shoulder or something before, right? Wrist or something?
Oh man, yeah, more times than I can count.
Yeah.
Fractures, broken, dislocation. Yeah, absolutely.
So dislocations are really weird because they're fine. Like they're just extremely excruciating painful. I snapped my ACL on my right knee. Needed surgery to replace it. They pulled out part of my hamstring. I've had 5 surgeries in my life. Dislocating my shoulder was by far the most painful experience, and not because of the actual experience when it happened, it occurred, but this wonderfully caring gentleman, when I was at Torrey Pines in north of San Diego and north of La Jolla, I was swimming at their beach, and so we were body surfing, right? And I'm really, if you body surf, hey folks, do not surf straight towards the shore. That's called womping. The wave sucks you under and whomps you into the shore. Okay, it sucks. It's really painful. You have to turn right or left. It doesn't matter which way you go. Just turn your body. So I didn't know that at the point. My son was not quite a year old. But actually I survived the body surfing. It wasn't bad. But they have a really steep shelf there, right? It goes really deep, really fast. Some about 100 feet offshore, maybe 50 feet. The shore is about chest deep. I mean, the water is about chest deep. There's a big, 11-foot wave behind me, which I don't see because I stood up. I'm deaf in my right ear. My left ear is full of water. And I'm just trying to get the salt water in my hair, shaking my head and getting the water out. I just caught a great wave. I'm really excited. Well, that big ass of a wave picked me up, sucked me under, and smashed me into the underlying surface, which is under the water, which would be called sand, which doesn't give very well. Now, there's water, but what I did is I put my hands above my head and my right hand planted, and the pivot point became my shoulder. So my entire body went over the top of my shoulder, and you hear it was like a stick breaking underwater, like a big stick breaking. No, Summy, that's exactly, every time I watch ridiculousness or I watch these stupid shows where people are like Chive TV when you go to a restaurant and these guys are, I'm cycling, my feet fell off 50 feet in the air, I can't catch my pedals, and you land. That's the pain I'm talking about. I can't watch that stuff because I'm stupid, or maybe just not bright. I've experienced most of that in my lifetime, and I cannot stand to relive the pain. But anyway, so back to the story. There was this wonderful ER physician, this wonderful, established-looking, very, very. I may have had a little man crush if he hadn't effed up my shoulder a little more. But this gentleman he was a black gentleman, maybe in his early 60s, late 60s, and he tried to put my shoulder back in. But the water in California is very cold. He was an ER physician. He said, look, you're probably in shock. The water's very cold, but I can try to do something to put it back in. And it's a very simple, look, they basically extend your arm, they rotate one direction, and they cross it back across your, it's very simple. It's really simple. It's not a big deal unless your body's muscles are, you're totally contracting, you're freezing, you're in shock, and you're going like, don't touch me, please, no. And which I said about 100 times. And he said, look, just breathe. It was late fall, and so I breathed, and it still didn't work. But it popped in for a second, right? I was like, I could breathe again, right? Because it's the most painful thing. I mean, the trapezoid muscle right here was like down where your pectoral muscle should be. The pectoral muscle is wrapped underneath where your what? I don't even know. Whatever this muscle back here is, right? It was the most painful experience. But so he says, okay, I think you're good. Go to the hospital. They'll fix you up. They'll give you some like a sling and stuff. So by the time I get to the Jeep, which we were driving, my body shakes a little bit. It's really cold. And he goes, pop. And it popped right back out. It's so painful. I almost fell to the ground. It's like the most, I must have turned ghost. I'm already white, or I'm already ghost white. So who knows, like Casper white, right? That's how white I was. Not just like Caucasian guy, Seneca Indian, half Seneca Indian, dad white. I was like bleached sheet, 1,000 count white. It was, I mean, if I'd have seen myself, I'd probably, look at that guy. No, but I was like sick to my stomach. It was it was worse than the initial dislocation. And then I sat almost 6 hours in the waiting room of the Torrey Pines Hospital. And
sounds like VA.
It's Scripps in Torrey Pines. And look, they did a great job treating me, but holy crap. You couldn't breathe without it hurting. And I know that was not food, but you know what? Too bad, because it's Summy's show. So you can contact Summy Schick. It's SCHICK. You can contact him on Twitter is probably the best place. But yeah, it's Summy's fault, not mine. It's not mine. He's part of the Jackhole Nation. We'll blame Doc on that. And yeah. Look, I had a caller set for the fourth segment. It's our Wind Down Wednesday segment. And Laura couldn't call in. So I needed to waste a little time and tell some super painful, interesting, perhaps agonizing story. Because you know what? Look, the mundane, the tasteful, we hold their attention for 30, 40 seconds. But as you know, Summy, when it can really make people feel like, damn, my life's really good compared to this guy, we keep them forever.
Oh, yeah.
No, not really, man. I don't play the victim. So, matter of fact, if you play the victim, by the way, any of you listeners, Jackhole Nation, whether you're food related or not, I will call you on your BS, Bravo Sierra, and promptly make you sit in the hot seat with Summy. No, not with Summy, next to Summy, and you'll be the only one with the mic, and he'll get to interject freely. I'm just saying. So, anyway, you going to stay over for a few minutes? Because I want to talk about your pies that you presented at the National Pie Council. Sure. 10 minutes?
Okay.
20? No, I'm just joking, man.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. He's like, dude, you wore me out. I wasn't sure what to expect. Anyway, hey, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. If you have not been listening, by the way, we've interviewed 6 or 7 of the 10 category champions of the WFC, which continues. Well, actually, it happened earlier today. So if you don't listen tonight, you need to tune in on Saturday for Derry O'Connor from Try This Dish Radio and check out the interview there with Neil. And not to mention the two of mine from last week.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It
Now,
really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called RiduZone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's work. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to RiduZone.com and try today. You're going to love it. RiduZone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with RiduZone. RIDUZone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boost your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. RiduZone.com, RIDUZone.com.
Hello, Spoony listeners. Yes, we're back. I'm sorry. We are subjecting you to one more hour today. It is Happy Hump Day Wednesday, by the way.
Mayday, too.
Oh, it is one more time, Sammy?
Mayday as well.
Mayday. So I will not tell you what the people in Germany decorated my Mayday tree with, because what they do is they cut a young birch tree, and they put it outside your. So the girls, put a birch tree outside the boys' room, their bedroom, and they decorate it with all sorts of interesting paraphernalia. We will not go into that. But thank you. Andrea Gertz is one of my best friends. She was the very first German student I hosted. Never touched, never kissed. What an amazing person. What a beautiful family. Thank you very much, Andrea Gertz from Cologne, Germany. And I learned about May Day from them. So what does May Day, what does May Day mean, Sammy?
I never bothered to look much into it. I understand.
And you're just like me. That's why I love you, Sammy. That's why I didn't mention it on the show, because I was like, May Day.
We know it better as Labor Day several months later.
Yes, we do. Exactly. So May Day, they do a lot of things in Europe. They typically have like a, Sammy, okay, that was the best look at the camera. He's like, hey, dude, I don't know. But so there's a lot of festivals that happen in the summertime that we don't have in the U.S. Because you think about it, Northern Europe is very cold, right? The earth doesn't start to defrost and be plantable till late in spring or early summer. And so they have these May Days, these Erdgedankfest in Germany. It's like a Mother Earth Fest, basically a thank you to Mother Earth. But that's what happens. And so that's where a lot of this starts then at May Day. And all I know is when I woke up in the morning in Germany, I was just a bit embarrassed. I'm not going to tell you the details. If you research long enough and far enough back in my past, Yeah, no, all that stuff burned up in the fire. Thank you of 2016. So you won't find anything because I never post on Facebook. So, and as much as I love social media, not going up there. All right. So, Summy, you went to the American Pie Council's competition, and for how that's been going on for a long time. Like how long? 20 plus.
This year was the 25th year.
That's what I thought. Okay, and so for a long time, this is not to negate or demean anything we do, but it was all men that had won the competition for a very long time, right? And you think about like the bakers, the master pastry chefs, for a very long time, not so much recently, were all men. However, for the first time in a while, not this year, but last year, they had a male competitor that actually, a female that swept the competition. She did very well. And Summy, by the way, the stuff you did last year was phenomenal. But this year was even better. You did this. So, Summy, let's talk about your crust, the pie crust that you use. So Okay, let's go back one more step. You didn't compete all this time, right? You were a volunteer for how many years?
From I think 2009, maybe 10.
Okay, and then you started competing in...
This is my 4th year.
Okay, so like 15, 16, somewhere in there?
Yeah, around that.
Okay. So last year you did some fun, but this year you brought all those sample pies over here. And Jeff, I'm sorry you weren't here, but I got my ass fat eating this pie. So somebody does not use a traditional like pie crust. It's not a pastry crust as we think of in the United States. It is not a tart crust. It is not a graham cracker crust. It is, in fact, a sponge cake crust, very thin one at that. And when you pull that out of the oven, then you mold that, you shape that into the pie dish that you're going to bake in, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So, that first, number one, first and foremost, brilliant idea. I mean, you're not the only one to ever do that, but you perform very well with that particular aspect of the pies. Then, I know you tried all this really, really amazing fancy stuff this year, but can I tell you, out of all the stuff I tried, the peanut butter and jelly pie with this beautiful bottom crust and this amazing. So his top crust is not a crust at all. It's a chocolate. It's a tempered chocolate, which gets crisp on the outside. So it's like brittle chocolate, like you would break a chocolate bar, which is hard to achieve because you have to temper the chocolate, which means you melt chocolate to 110, 118 degrees, 108 to 120. You check the temperature, and as you're cooling the chocolate down, you have to reseed this melted chocolate with chocolate shavings, which then teaches the chocolate how to conform to that brittleness, right? That crispness. Because if you that's
news to me.
Oh, so Summy, I got a trick for you. Okay, we're going to talk about tempering chocolate off air.
Great.
Yeah, so tempering, there are two meanings. Tempering means to treat by heat, basically.
Right.
When you're making a sauce like a creme anglaise,
right,
or a pudding, anything that's a cooked custard, or even something that has flour in it, right? You want to. We talked about this before. I was talking about making gravy, right? There's two ways to do this. You can either, if you're going to make a gravy, you dump the oil out of the pan, you throw the flour in dry, and you just rub it around in the fond, the stuff that sticks to the pan, and then you add a little bit of fat back into it, and then you add the liquid, right, the milk or whatever. That's fine, but you end up lumpy, typically. So the way that you typically do this is you take that mixture of starch, or in this case, the chocolate, right?
Right.
And another agent, and you combine them to raise the temperature slowly so that you're not congealing anything. With chocolate, it's different because chocolate needs to relearn the crystal structure, right? That makes it brittle chocolate or a bar of chocolate. It's a scientific process. With something like a sauce, we are simply taking the starch and a little of the liquid, like you remember. You know what's funny is everybody sees these old protein shaker cups right now, You know what that's based on? You know the shaker cup that's got a little either got a ball inside that's a wire mesh, or or the little topper that goes inside, and then you shake it through that. It's segmented, so it basically makes this emulsion of milk and or water with a protein powder.
Right.
Well, that's based on an old design by Tupperware. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Tupperware had a gravy shaker.
Wow.
So you took your milk and your flour and you shook it up in that container and you added that to your hot pan with, whatever your pan juices were, and you made your flour and you made your gravy. The thing is that congealed really because you have this really super hot pan, and it would cook the flour into paste, so you get this lumpy gravy. You'd have to strain it or whatever. So it's the same thing. When you make a gravy, you temper that mixture, that roux. It's basically a simple roux. It's liquid and or fat with flour or a starch, and you take your hot liquid, if it's a stock or a soup base, you pour that slowly into your cold mixture until it brings it up to temperature, so that and then you take that whole thing and you dump it in the pot and you mix it really fast, and that disseminates all these little particles of flour or starch, and that way you don't get lumpy gravy or soup or sauce or whatever you're making. I know. It sounds really brilliant, but, it's not. We'll thank Auguste Escoffier from France. Oh, by the way, if you're just joining us, this is Chef Patrick Mosher of the Food Biz Pro. We're on Spoony Radio. We are in the second course of today's second course, not first course. You missed the appetizer. We're in the super salad course, which is appropriate. We just talked about thickening stuff. And super salad course, this is Summy Schick, of course, a longtime listener and a very devout follower of the show, and before that, prior to that, doc show for many years. And we're talking about, this amazing pie you made. And I digressed a little bit because I got distracted from tempering chocolate. But that filling you made, I don't mean the fancy fillings you brought me last week. I mean that beautiful white chocolate cream. It was like a custard filling.
The white chocolate cheesecake.
Oh, man, dude. Because it's like cheesecake, but not fully cooked, so it was still kind of liquidy in the middle. And it wasn't soft, but it was not that dry texture you get. Because I'm a New York cheesecake guy, and I like that dry texture. A little strawberry sauce, raspberry sauce, something on a plate. It's amazing. What you brought in?
It might have been if I'd used flour. Instead, I was more heavy on the eggs.
No. What you did was perfect. As a matter of fact, I would. Yes, I know, Jeff. Thank you. So I'm generating a lot of extra noise because I'm grabbing the microphone instead of the arm because I can't sit in one place. So I have to constantly adjust the microphone, and I can't even touch the arm without making noise. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, somebody's like, "Hey, this thing live. Hey, anybody listening? Hello, McFly." I feel like that sometimes, actually. Jeff looks at me like, have you eaten lately? Have you slept at all in the last 6 weeks? He came up today and said, "Are you okay?" And I have to tell you, I started to worry. Do I look that bad? Do I act that distraught? Jeff, you can comment. It's okay. It's okay. You can open the mic. I love you, brother, and I appreciate your input.
It was just one of those things where it's like you didn't seem to be firing on all cylinders.
I'm tired.
Yeah, okay. So then maybe that's what it is. But then again, you dislocated your shoulder, right?
I'm
so you haven't
tired
been able to get sleep.
And I'm poor.
Poor and tired have something to do together?
No, but when you combine them, it means holy crap, this sometimes sucks. But I love what I do. I mean, can I tell you? I've said this about what I do as a chef for years and years and years in the restaurant industry. As crappy as things get, I don't care where I'm working, who I'm working with, the venue, the food, the style of food. I've never woken up and ever said I hate my job. Never once. I've said I don't want to deal with this today, or I wish I wish I wasn't hungover because I'm stupid, or I wish I'd slept more. And the hangover things, for the most part, in the distant past, or at least far recent past. I've never woken up being on the radio saying I hate what I do. I don't want to go on. Even when I have a really terrible day and I struggle, which has only happened a couple of times. I've had one, I'll tell you what, about 3 weeks ago, I had a day where I thought dude, I'm done. They're going to shoot me like fish in a barrel, hang me up, string me out to dry, and they're going to say, dude, what are you doing on the radio? But no one did. As a matter of fact, many of the listeners understood that I was struggling, and I looked across the table, and Doc was not there, and I had a little bit of a midlife crisis breakdown, so to speak, because we relied a lot on him. He was our anchor. He was our big voice, right? But and the fans, the listeners, not the fans, the listeners, they rallied behind me and said, you know what, a great show, great caller. Well, thank you. It was a great caller, and I appreciate the fact that they understood I had to struggle through, but I couldn't give up. And today's not nearly anything like that. I'm in a little pain, okay, a lot of pain, but dude, I love what I do. I really do. I can't. I want to make people understand, and I want to share my love and passion for what I do, which is I cook and I eat.
Can't go wrong with that.
It's that simple, right? it's what I'll ask you something, right? You come from a very spiritual family, right? So
Yes.
Is there anything that you can think of that's more integral as a part of life that you can share with anyone you care about than breaking bread? Even if you don't cook.
I can't think of any better icebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things if you're married, you know, if you're in that type of relationship, there's some of the more intimate things. But when you think about, on average, all those in your family, your friends, your inner circle of confidants, I can't think of anything more intimate share than breaking bread. Whether you cook and you share, or you go out and you dine, or you have a potluck, it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah,
it's those connections through our experiences in these what are seemingly mundane situations. I talk about this all the time, and I'm sorry, folks. I'm not sorry, damn it. Listen, Simon Sinek says this. There's no app to create long-lasting relationships, whether personal as in sexual, or binding emotionally, or simply work-based. There's no app for that. You can't just simply swipe right and be a freaking, I'm a stud, I swipe. No, you're not a stud. Okay? You have no connection to that person. A connection is something where, in a moment of silence before you go into a meeting and you're sitting with a coworker and you say, hey, can I help you with your workload? I see you're just buried. I see you shaking your head all the time. Can I help you out with something? Oh, that'd be great. That's when those bonds are formed. You know, when unannounced, you show up with a little pie in hand, or even better yet, some damn pork belly, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I mean, not just any pork belly, by the way. This is like the best. Okay, second best pork belly, because the other one we can't obtain, not as pork belly, but you know, that kind of stuff means a lot. You show up, you support, you silently lift people up, and you look them in the eye and say, you know what, I appreciate you. That's all that matters. Really. People don't need your money. They need your time and attention. You can buy all sorts of people's affection, but when you make a meal for someone that matters, you go shopping. You're like, I took my kid shopping at Central Market. Central Market has like 780 SKUs of produce. That's amazing to me. I don't know if that's exact. It's astounding to me, though. The only place bigger than that is Fairway Market in Manhattan, where I'm from. But you take someone you love, someone you even care about, and you can share a little bit of your passion of food as a cooking medium, as who you are, because you are literally what you eat. It means a lot. You share that with them, and you teach them. It doesn't matter who children, parents, grandparents, and you don't have to lecture. You just share, genuinely share, be transparent, be passionate, be loving. And look, loving is, oh, hey, some of you are pretty handsome today. I mean, care about the other person, care about their well-being. You know, what happens to you at the end of the day, I care about, Sammy. I do. Yeah. And I appreciate you coming here diligently, time after time, with me saying, hey, dude, I got to work, I got to go away. Because I'll tell you what, I'm very distractible. And when I have a lot of things around me to distract my attention, I have to either A, remove myself from the situation so I can complete my work, or I need to stop working. And I'm not good at the stop working part, right? I've not apologized, but I've told Doc the same thing. Jeff, you know, I removed I removed myself earlier today, right? I went next door to the conference room where it's quiet. I made my calls, and you know, we have some really cool stuff coming up Friday with Trey's Chat on Live. He's got 2 extra guests, so I had to kind of consolidate an extra hour for him. Kind of, I actually took someone's replay away, but she'll forgive me. It's okay. Sorry, Tanya. But yeah, I mean, it's very important that we share those what we deem mundane moments with those that we care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not some great wise philosopher, dude. I cook and I share my love for food. That's it.
Yeah.
But it means a lot. It does. It means a lot to those that you cook for and those that are cooking for you. And Jeff Wetzel, the cowboy chef that was on the show he's on the show regularly, right? He's a fishing report, but he brought up something really cool the other day, 2 weeks ago, when we talked about going out for Easter Sunday.
Wow.
I'm going to ask you. We had a great listenership and viewership that day. It was 2 weeks ago Friday, on Good Friday. How many of you really listened to his words that said, "Be nice, be kind to those that are serving you today"? To be patient with the kitchen and your server, because they're giving up their time with their family and their holiday to celebrate whatever, if religious or not, right? That's still time that everyone in this country is essentially entitled to. You challenge yourself to look inside and say, did you abide by that rule? Be patient, be nice, be kind. You know, there's only one rule in life. Only one. Do no harm. First and foremost, do no harm to others.
Yes.
As Doc would say it, don't be a jerk. Do you remember the 5 rules? Don't be a jerk.
Keep the talent happy.
Keep the talent happy. We won't mention any names there. So keep the talent happy. Number 3?
Always come clean.
Always come clean. Own your stuff. Own your stuff, folks. That's what I tell my kids. I say stuff. Just own your stuff. Number 4?
I forget 4, but I remember 5.
What's 5?
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That's right. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So, 5 rules to live by. That.
What was 4 again?
Oh, Jeff! I stumped you for one damn time. I won. Although I don't remember either.
I didn't really pay attention to the rules. That's why I've been able to stay in radio for so long. If I followed the rules, man, come on.
The only reason I've been in radio so long is I have a face for radio. You know, at least you got the voice and the personality to stay here. So there are 5 rules. A, don't be a jerk. B, keep the talent happy. Look, talent is not just talent. It could be your endeared family members, your children, your spouse, whatever, your partner. That's the talent, right? Those that make your.
Well, no, it's good. If I may, the 5 rules, you don't go A, B, and C. You go 1, 2, and 3. I'm just saying, Chef, if you're going to do the rules and the 5 rules, then it would be rule 1, rule. Hey, listen, this is your show. You just do it any way you
what's
want.
really funny is I was just banging my head on the microphone. That really hurt. This metal screen on here, this little filter thing, that's there for a damn reason. So you don't damage the microphone. You damage your forehead or your nose or whatever you're banging it with. That was not as funny as I thought it would be. Somebody, am I bleeding up there? I'm just joking. I know I'm not, but that was.
You're fine.
Yeah, so Doc's 5 rules. So don't be a jerk. So what does that mean, don't be a jerk? Because Doc was a jerk several times. Matter of fact, his very last day, within the final hour, Doc was a major jerk to me. And he said, man, I know that was a dick move. And I turned around, but I'll tell you what, I had to turn out honestly and say, he goes, I'm sorry, that was a dick move. I said, yes, it was, but it was really timely and really funny. I don't forgive you. I forgave him about 2 minutes later, but so don't be a jerk. Look, ultimately, my mom used to say, I know we're not talking about food. Geez, stop talking to my ear. Okay, that's my inner voices. Sorry. But she used to say, practice being kind, not right. Practice being kind, not right. To me, that's a very important lesson because ultimately, most arguments within a family, especially a couple, they revolve around things that are not life altering. Their personal opinion, even if you are right, does it really matter if it's 37 cents or 39 cents that we got in change that day? Does it really freaking matter? No. So the meaning about it, pick your battles. Is it worth losing a relationship over a mind? And this is actually food related, because we talk about not talking about food, politics, interpersonal relationships at the table. That's when you should talk about those things, right? The family meal. Mark Conway, his show every day right before mine, talks about just those things, these interesting, funny, embarrassing, sometimes tragic stories that occur around the dinner table that form us as individuals and as society, and as chefs and participants in the food service industry. It's a huge common thread amongst all of us. So, is it really worth it to call to call someone out on their mistake or their if someone misspeaks, is it really worth causing a fight over? Picking a fight over? I mean, some of you're shaking your head going, I know you. As a believer, I know you, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
yeah.
No, so number 2 is keep the talent happy. Yeah. We're not saying pander to the audience. Pay respect and what's owed to those in your life that are important, that help support you. Those whether there's the peripheral roles or the integral center of the table accompaniments to you that is life, pay them homage, respect them, and tell them thank you. And if you owe them anything, food, whatever you pay them in, love, food, money, take care of them because they're doing it for you. So show the love back. That's all. So number 3 is
always come clean.
Always come clean. You screw up. Look, FCC. I know you're not supposed to be listening, but I almost dropped that word twice last week because Jeff, I don't know where the hell you were. There was no where's that button? Where's that beep? I'm not Gordon Ramsay, but I am fallible. Okay, I have lived 30 plus years in the restaurant life. I screw up. And I own it. But the thing is, when you make a mistake, simply say, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm learning from it. Thanks for pointing it out. I'm trying. Own it. When you try to hide it or deny it, it never works out in your favor. Never. You cannot, in this day and age, you cannot hide a single thing from anybody. So cooks, chefs, restaurants, all y'all, every time that you are lying on the truth and menu thing, did you know like 60 to 80% of all fish represented on a menu is false? That's ridiculously not just uncaring. That's unconscionable to me as a chef. If I don't serve you what I say I'm going to serve, I'm sorry I said butter instead of margarine. No, we can't even do that anymore. We're saying, redfish from Lake Pontchartrain when it's really tilapia out of China. No. Deep water, crimson snapper from Hawaii, versus, I don't care, moonfish from Hawaii. No. What you serve is what you serve. You be honest to the guest. This is a day and age when everyone can research everything everyone else does. There's a really cool thing. So we talk about this blockchain technology as we talk about cryptocurrencies but that really, it has nothing to do with it. It's about traceability. Everything that you consume now is traceable. These glasses, I know they're not edible, they're consumable, right? I buy them, I break them, I buy new ones. I can tell who made the frame, what date, where they went, what company they bought the petroleum from to mold this frame, where the glasses were made, where that sand came from, what date it was purchased, when it was shipped, who shipped it. All that stuff is traceable now, right? It's not just blockchain, it's all technology. And it's all this this desire for information about everything that is behind us that we consume. Especially in this country.
Yeah.
We want to know. So somebody's like, I don't know where you're going, dude. I know where you're going. You know where I'm going? Own your crap. If you lie and hurt somebody, just tell them, I'm sorry. I effed up. I love you. Forgive me. Number 4, we forgot. What's number 5?
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
All right, a-holes out there in the restaurant industry, just because you can lie to consumers, or just because you can sell something at a higher price, just because you can use half and half look, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's as parents too. That's as children of parents as well. Think about what you're doing. There's an effect. There's always a cause and effect, right? Everything you do means something to someone. Everything. And to those of you that I've disappointed, or maybe not come clean, I have done things that were maybe not. Look, I'm sorry. I own it. I own my crap. I do. I'm an ass. Not the rest of the word. Just an A. Just the A. Maybe the S. Not the second S. As. I'm an ass. I'm an ass. All right. Anyway, look. Without people like you, Sammy, my brother, we wouldn't be here. And if y'all don't know, this is a Friday. We're going to have a very special celebration for Doc. We're going to have the MojoCon is coming in. We've got about 60, 70 fans coming in from out of town. We are very grateful. It's a very emotional week, a fun week. So keep tuning in. Sammy, you're welcome to go. He's gonna be like the Flash for the first time. He's gonna it's just a streak going out the door. If you want to stay, you can. But anyway, thank you. Everyone listens. Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. Sammy Schick, my pie man right here. Jeff in the booth. Come on back. We got a caller right here. Want to listen? Pat Demir's going to call in with real food for real people. So if you don't like the highfalutin stuff I do, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. At Senate hearings on Attorney General William Barr's reading of the Mueller report, Senator Lindsey Graham has turned the focus on the real culprit behind questions surrounding the 2016 election.
Graham says that everybody agrees that in 2016,
the Russians interfered in our election.
And that's why for him the real takeaway from the Mueller report
is that we've got a lot of work to do to defend democracy against the Russians and other bad actors.
Starting with a new bill he's already working on.
I intend to work with my colleagues on the other side to introduce the Deter Act and to introduce legislation to defend the integrity of the voting system.
Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
Unrest continuing in Venezuela. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. will continue to put pressure on Cuba and Russia.
You've seen the work that we've done already to raise the costs for the Cubans. We've taken a handful of actions. There are more that we will continue to work on. We'll do the same for the Russians. They need to understand that it is, as President said, that they got to go.
Pompeo appearing on Fox Business Network's Mornings with Maria. Also at townhall.com, a big increase in hiring last month.
Payroll processor ADP says 275,000 people were hired in April, the most jobs in the last 9 months. The number is much higher than the experts are predicting when the Labor Department releases its jobs report. Despite fears of a trade war with China and higher interest rates, the economy is expanding at a solid pace. ADP says there was a big increase in construction jobs, as well as higher paying jobs, such as engineers and architects. Moody's put together the numbers for ADP, and Chief Economist Mark Zandi says the economic soft patch at the start of the year has not materially impacted hiring. Ed Donahue, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow ahead 30 points. The NASDAQ is up 35. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
You know, I have to say, I love when Duck, when Jeff does the old the duck lips, the duck face. It's time to go. No, so here's the thing. Earlier today, I said, would you just raise your hand to the host and let them know when it's time to go live? Give them 7 seconds because they were talking before the music starts to ramp down. He goes, I'll just nod at them, but he starts doing this little kissy face thing. It's slightly embarrassing, but also enticing at the same time. Jeff, look, hey, Doc never let me be Big Spoon. Damn it. Look, Doc was 6'5". Okay, neither was a Big Spoon or Little Spoon. This is Chef Patrick Mosher here on Spoony Radio. You are listening to the Food Biz Pro Show, and I actually believe soon, in a matter of moments, maybe within seconds, we will have a caller, which I need to update. I guess, but they're probably live already. We have a young lady named Pat. Pat, are you on the line? Hello, Pat. Hello, hello. I'm messing with Jeff now. I'm sure she's live. Jeff, hey, Pat, hang on. I'm going to answer. Let me try and answer from this side. Are you there, Pat?
Okay. I'm here.
Hi, Pat. This is Patrick.
Are you there?
Thanks for calling.
I'm here.
Thanks for calling. This is Delilah. What song may I play for you today?
What was that?
You never heard Delilah? So it's like a Sunday afternoon show. Delilah. She plays all these songs for long lost lovers over the years, and so Pat, look, hey, please tell Doug, because Doug's like 7'2". Do not let Doug kick my ass. Okay. I appreciate you both. Yes. I love you both. Him more than I got to say more than you, but You've been listening to, for those of you who don't know, look, I got my start in radio with Doc Thompson, and I'm very grateful. It was a random thing that occurred up in Bentonville, Arkansas, of all places. His wife, his unfortunately now widow, asked me, well, she showed up as the reporter on hand to cover the reopening of an iconic restaurant in Northwest Arkansas. It was the first fine dining restaurant in like 100 miles, 80-mile radius, and it burned down. I was the opening consulting chef and director of operations. What a phenomenal personality she turned out to be. And as cute as she was, she said, hey, you should meet my husband. Okay, my heart deflated a little bit, because Yuna's really pretty, but she's ultimately just a cool individual. And so she tried for months and months to get us to meet. It was about 3 months. We finally met, and you were actually at Doc's memorial, right? His celebration of life in Ohio.
Yes.
And by the way, Summy's in house. He's not really talking much. He wants to sit and listen, but Summy's in studio with us today. He brought some more tasty bites.
Sunny.
And he brought this. Hey, Summy, hey, what is the pork you brought me? Come on, dude.
Waddle.
No, waddle.
Wattle with two T's.
With two T's. Can I tell you, this is second to only one other type of pork, which they don't really sell the belly because they use it all in that region in Portugal, Spain, Portugal border. But it's this wattle pork, I may have to kiss somebody's feet. I'm not kissing you on the mouth, dude. You're a little scruffy looking. I'm a little scruffier, but yours looks like thicker. So we'll just say I will. Let's say I'll cook it. I'll sous vide it. We'll do something really cool and amazing, and we'll enjoy it. And the entire Jackhole Nation, I'd like to see you invited, but it's only about 2 pounds. So no, just saying, no.
The only thing that waddle means to me is that thing that hangs off a rooster somewhere. You know?
For me, it means when I've eaten too much after Thanksgiving dinner, and I can't really go 1 foot in front. I go side to side instead of 1 foot in front of the other. Remember that? It's more like side to side, and then I got to lay down on the couch and go to sleep.
That's WADDLE.
Oh my God! Oh, you're too funny. So no. So hey, look, you talked to me a few weeks ago. Right, we have a lot of listeners that were Doc's loyal listeners for years and years, and I can't tell you how appreciative I am of that, because within a month of me being on his show over at the other platform, the Interving, my segment, that half-hour segment from 6:30 to 7 every week, was the most listened to segment of any segment he did. And
it was my favorite. Patrick's on.
And so here's the thing. It meant a lot to me. It meant more than any single individual listener could imagine. But the fact that he'd been on the air for almost 7 years there when I met him, 6.5, and look, Skip, dude, where the hell are you? Get the hell out of New Mexico, come to Tejas, and let's do a gosh darn show. Yes, I'm trying to tame my language because I was. Dude, are you kidding? Have you seen his videos on YouTube when he cooks stuff and he grills and he puts that green chili sauce on? Man, Skip Lacombe. All right, all you people who love Skip, yes, Skip the whatever you want to call him. Tell him he needs to do a show. I don't care if it's a call-in, infrequent contributor, weekly, daily, hourly contributor. Damn it, Skip, call me. Okay.
Maybe we'll interview him.
I'm not trying to be that harsh. Skip, you're a cool dude. I know you have a really serious... he's got a really serious job out there that involves national security. So, Skip, get back on the phone. You got my number, and call me. Right? Call me maybe. No, that's not my song. Sorry. I'm not that pretty, and nobody likes me that much. So, Skip, I appreciate you. Give us a call. Please, once a week, man. Like 5 minutes. We're good. I'll take it. Somebody's like, oh, yeah, he's better than you were, dude. He was a really good partner for Doc. Yeah, shut up. I'm just joking. Somebody's like my closest friend here in Houston, by the way. I have no friends. So, Pat, you had approached me about doing a show on Spoony. And I will admit, because I own my stuff, that I'm very skeptical, right? Although...
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame you.
No. So here's the deal. My 2 experiences on our sister channel, for what I've done, I did 2 shows. I did Off the Rails, right? And I did, what was the other show I did? I know.
Defenders.
I'm joking. Steven, thank you. But I'm telling you, so the Defenders was amazing. So I did 2 hours on off track, right? And I did an hour for the Defenders. And it meant like, literally, I can't snap very well, so I'm trying. It was like a snap, like a moment in time. Was it better the second time? You're better than me. Okay, here. We'll just clap, pretend I snap my fingers, okay? But I'm telling you, it was amazing, right? That 2 hours, the first show with Whiskey Six, who is Sean Sheeler. Sean, thank you, brother, for spreading the love in Arizona. We went to high school together. He was a couple years behind me, but he noticed me and he said, "Hey, wow, guy I went to high school with is on the radio." Well, can I tell you? There's another guy on the radio that we went to school with, named John J. Van Ness, who's got 20 million listeners across the country. Sean Sheeler said, "Screw John J. Patrick's on the radio." And John J., I love you, brother. promote me at some point. I know that you're on this terrestrial radio thing and like 50 or 100 stations nationwide. I love you. But I know you can't really promote me. But if you could come on here on your time off and like say, hey, dude, what's up? Good luck. Give me some coaching. I don't care. Show us some love because you got a big reach. Even you don't have to call in. Just get Rich, the little guy, to call in because you're big. He's little.
Cross-pollination is a good thing.
Nah, well, look, John Jay. He studied media production and broadcasting, and he was in Cincinnati and Tucson, and he's like, dude, he is a big star. I love John Jay. I used to hate John Jay. You know why? Because we went to Big Surf one time in like 10th grade before he moved to San Diego. Our best friend, our mutual best friend, Greg Patterson, had a surfboard. And Big Surf, for all of you who don't know, there is one place to surf in the whole freaking state of Arizona. It's Big Surf. They got a big wall, 100 foot tall. Underneath that, it's got these big ramps on the side. It's got this huge, like, beach-like structure. These walls taper up. The beach is like 300 feet wide. It tapers down to 200 at the wall. Okay, so here's the deal. It has a big tank. It sucks water over this wall that sits in front, 10 feet or 6 feet in front of the vertical wall. That is the height, 200 feet high, 100 feet wide, at least 100 feet. It sucks water under that into a big, giant tank. The bottom of that tank moves downward and at one time pushes upward, creates a wave over that little lip that you stand on in front of it, and it creates the perfect wave every freaking time. I've been there, I don't know, 1,000 times since I was in 6th grade. But I'm telling you, John Jay, you kept the damn board the whole surfing session, and I still am pissed off about it 35 years later. Either I'm a jerk or you're a jerk. It's probably me. I'm just saying. Show me some love, man. Come on. I know somebody's laughing at me. I'm serious. I'm honestly, all right, I own my stuff. Own my stuff, right? I'm still pissed off to this day because it was the first time I was ever going to surf on a surfboard. And it was like it was supposed to be senior ditch day in Arizona, but all the sophomores took the day off anyway, or freshmen. We just didn't go to school. John Jay, I love you, but damn it, loan me. You got like several $1,000 surfboards. Loan me one. I'll fly to San Diego. I'll use it. I'll hope not to break it. I'll bring it back in 2 pieces. Or if I bring it back in 2, I'll buy you one. Probably of a lesser value, but sorry, that's a disclaimer there. I'm just saying. No, so John Devaness, I know. I haven't been drinking today. Is that like scary? I haven't had any caffeine or any alcohol. Wait, no, that's not true. I had Listerine mouthwash. I didn't drink it.
I had both, so.
I didn't drink it. It was simply a rinse. It was not like I was drinking the bottle. And I did wipe my skin, so I have to tell you, as I'm getting older, my skin needs something very astringent to clean it. As I'm stressed out, I'm sweating basically what we would call adrenaline. I'm having to use something. We don't have remember Seabreeze? It was awesome. You could use it to treat mosquito bites or clean your skin or whatever ailment you had. It fixed it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we don't have that. So it's like isopropyl alcohol. That stuff smells like vodka. So before I get in the shower, I use that to cleanse my face because I'm very... Look, folks, I'm owning my stuff and I'm coming clean. I'm a little stressed out. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not getting a paycheck. But I love food. I love my listeners. So I will not quit. I will not forgo.
But you're here because you love it.
No, you know what? I love this more than life itself. I do. If I didn't have this, my children are amazingly beautiful and low stress. They cause me no pain. But man,
that goes a long way.
It does. And Pat, do you know my story about why I did this? Why I mentioned this to Doc? This whole idea, this crazy yet hopefully fun.
Why?
Yeah, the whole.
I don't know the why.
Okay, so
I do not know the why.
Okay, so I grew up hungry, and I don't mean figuratively. I mean literally. Right? My dad died at a very early age. He was 47. I was 6. We will not go into the details of that because I'll start crying in there. And some of you will be like, dude, hold it in, man. Be a man. Grow some huevos. All right, so we won't talk about that. But he had pancreatic cancer, but unfortunately, it was a bad deal. So as I grew up, my mother, she had asthma, terrible asthma, which she developed about 3 months after my birth. So stupidly, of course, right, as a youngest of 5 children, I blamed myself for that, as many people do. And I'm sorry if I'm boring you with my story. Go to Mojo 50, list something damn interesting, because I'm sure. Oh no, Matt's not on. So sorry. Actually, Sam Sorbo's on. She's pretty damn cool. I have to tell you, and she's pretty. Just don't say that because her husband will kick your ass because he's Hercules. Just saying. All right. Yeah, Pat. So
I'm sorry.
If he was probably, can I tell you? He was probably my first man crush ever. And I don't mean, like, no, I was in like high school or college. I'm like, damn, I want to look like that guy. Not like I want that guy. I want to look like that guy. Now I'm like a good hair envy. Summy, dude, you're looking pretty good, man. Could I have your hair? Because I can't afford those injections, the stem cell injections. But I digress. So, I God, I love the show. You know why? Because I can say whatever I want, and until Jeff mutes the mic, I'm safe. And Jeff is like, I know you pay me. I'm really fighting not to mute the mic, but look, I own my faults. It is what it is. But my dad passed, right? So I get that, no problem. It is what it is. I don't, in theory, blame myself for that, right? Because I didn't cause his illness. But my mom, she got really sick. The whole rest of her life, which was, she died at 69 years old. So I was 33 when she passed. I'm 51 now. 51. She was my life.
Did you get my text?
Which one?
You were talking about
Which one?
Her scalloped potatoes. Her scalloped potatoes or potatoes au gratin.
Can I tell you what's really
and
funny?
I was saying, I miss my mom too.
Okay,
we are old enough to be grandparents.
I did get your text, but I heard you say it on the air with Holly, right? So you said you said the same thing on the air the other day. And can I tell you, you sent this demo in, right? Which I was like, I'll be honest with you. I own my stuff. I do. I was like, oh, another Jack Hole Nation show on one of our 2 channels. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I was not doubting, but I was being a stupid doubter, right? And I'll tell you what.
No, you're trying to keep it classy. I understand.
No. Can I tell you, if you've listened to my show, there's no class. There's just no crass, right? There's no class, but no crass, right? I try to keep it clean, but I'm not pompous. I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, 7 miles outside of the smallest town in upstate New York. I did. 0. My dad died when I was 6.5 years old. I will not tell you the circumstances, but it was effed up. Not you. I'm not telling you this to our listeners, right? I've stood in the government cheese line when I was a high school student. I used to drive my mom's car before I was 16 years old. Legal driver in Arizona. I was 14. Drove through the line. Had my peers hand me a 15-pound block of cheese, 16 sticks of butter, and some broccoli and say, hey, Patrick, have a good week. So yeah, I don't have a lot of pride in that sense. I'm very humble. But when you said that the other day, and then when you were ending the show with Holly, you said a demo and it was really cool. Because I'll be honest, I was being an ass to you, because I've had a couple of shows not pan out, and I was like, okay, I need to be more scrutinous. So you sent me a demo, and I'll tell you, the beginning is a little rough, but great content, real people, real food. And when you got to the end, you said, hey, Holly, how do we wrap this up? She goes, I don't know. We say thanks for listening to Real People, Real Food. This is Holly and Pat. Listen to us next week. That was the most authentic 15 seconds of radio I think I've listened to in 20 freaking years. Doc
we were at the end of the time, and I froze. I had all these ideas. I'm like, how do we wrap this up?
No, you didn't freeze. You were like, how do we wrap this up? You were like, but it was honest. It was real, and it was transparent. And thank you. It was freaking awesome. So I want to say today that on Spoony Radio, coming soon, in a time slot near you, whatever time zone you may
wait,
live in.
wait. You got to get the name right. You got to get the name right. We've said it like three
Real
different
food,
ways.
real people, real food, right?
Real food, real people.
Damn it, I get it back. So that's 3 times I've got it backwards. Wait, let me write this down. Real food. You know, and I don't write shorthand, but I pretend I do, so I can't read it later. So
right.
you'll have to put this in a logo, a really simple one with a picture of the two of you. And can I tell you, I've vetted you more than any other show host, and I'll tell you, it was really, really good. It was fun, and I'll tell you, you guys talked about the stuff that I ate as a kid growing up, and I really appreciate that because it wasn't just, oh yeah, that, you know, do you remember back in the day? No, you're still trying to carry on those traditions, which I think it's not just cool, it's admirable. So that was you have a Pat Gamir, part of the Jack Hole Nation. I don't know how long you've been a member, maybe one of the originals, but you have now been awarded a show on Spoony Radio. Just saying.
Wow, 5 years. But you know what?
That's all? Okay.
Really, it's not like I really aspired to this. It's just kind of like, well, you know, I think because I actually cooked professionally for 20 years.
No, we talked about that.
I was never a chef. I was just a prep cook mostly. But it really did give me a love of food, and I talk. So I could put those 2 things together.
Hey, you know, but here's the thing, right? So the restaurant industry, the food service industry in general, and Summy, would you talk for like 20 minutes so I can doze a little bit over there? He's saying you're an ass, Patrick. You're an ass. Yeah. So can I tell you, the camera's not on, Summy, but I feel so good right now about having your new show launching in a couple of weeks. Summy's the same way. He's like, finally, some relief from Patrick. and thank God. Here, one more time, Sammy. Wait, Sammy, say that again. Say it again.
What's that?
More or less. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, some relief from Patrick. And you said, he said more or less. Don't look. It's okay because if it's true, it's not. Jeff?
But if it's true, it's not offensive.
That's right. If it's true, it's not offensive, right? If it's true, not offensive. That is number 4 in Doc's. That's Doc's list.
Not offensive if it's true.
It's not offensive if it's true.
So, look, I admit, I've been a jerk in life. I apologize to my family and friends, my loved ones, my employers. But hey, if you think you've been a victim over the last 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, I challenge you, really. This is something I coach I'll tell you, my one of my dearest loved ones, Ross, my nephew, Ross Swick. I love you, brother. I hope you're listening right now because you have learned more than this from anyone. And you know what? You threw it back in my face several times. If you think you've been wronged in several situations where it always ends up in you being the one that's short end of the stick, right? Look back and think over those 4, 3, 6, 10, 20, 90 employers or partners or loved ones that have cast you by. What is the one single common denominator that ties that all together? And more than likely, it is, if not you, it's me, right? Look inside. Do you think maybe you might have been the cause? Because I'll tell you, I was pretty screwed up for most of my life. I didn't even know how freaking compound interest worked till I was 40. And I'm 51. Okay, yeah, I'm never retiring. I'm working until I die. And that's okay, because that was my miss. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry you didn't teach me that, because you didn't know. Okay? So, but here's the deal. Own your fallibilities. Be humble. Love those that matter. And Pat, holy crap, you're going to have a show. Can you tell me how excited you are?
I had, well, that's when you asked if you'd had coffee or alcohol. I said I had both. That's how excited I was. I took a shot so I'd calm down.
I'm going to take a shot of each right between the breaks. I'm telling you what, I need a little pick me up. I need a little calm me down.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, somebody's like, dude, shut the hell up and get off the radio. The segment's almost over. Shh, just let the silence go. No, somebody's actually cool.
I could use some coffee myself.
Somebody's one of my coolest friends. Somebody, hey, man, what's your next pie you're going to make?
I don't know.
Ah, hey, that is an honest answer. I can respect
Thank
that.
you. What are you going to make, Sonny?
Oh, don't put him on the spot, Pat. I'm going to put you on the spot in a minute. You can stay over there the last half hour? Because we're going to talk a little Boone's Farm / what we call the standard family wine. Or not. Maybe Mad Dog 20. I don't know. We'll talk something in the last half hour. You going to
Mad Dog.
Yeah, oh, there she go. Look, upstate New Yorkers, we get wild about Mad Dog. Yes, I moved to Arizona before that time and back to New York again. So it was all Boone's Farm at that time. Strawberry Hill, not the best choice. Anyway, hey, Chef Patrick Mosher, Summy Schick, my buddy. I'm going to let you go. You can stay if you want. Get some coffee. Bring it back. Pat, I'm going to mute you for a second. Please hang on the line. And hey, I don't care if you're tuning in. First time, last time. I love you. Thank you. Stay tuned. We got fun stuff to come.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
And we are back for the fourth and final course of Spoony Radio, Chef Patrick Mosher's Food Biz Pro Show today. Pat, are you there?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, can you not tell Doug that I said your name that way? Because he can probably reach across the United States, grab me by the throat, and take care of me.
He's a gentle giant.
No, but he's a big guy. He's like Paul Bunyan. How tall is Pat, by the way? Is Doug. He's a tall man.
He is, he's 6'7".
I think
he was the tallest guy in the room.
Okay, so I'm just telling you, Doc was 6'5". I'm thinking he's more like 6'8", 6'9", because he's a big man. I'm just saying. But he seemed he was very, very, very friendly.
He takes good care of me.
Well, that's good.
When we were dating, I had tall friends that were actually mad at me because I was supposed to leave the tall guys for the tall girls. I'm like, well, I don't think so.
Well, Pat, how tall are you, by the way?
I'm short.
No. You are not tall of stature. right? That would be the appropriate response. That would be
I am
the
vertically
PC.
challenged.
Oh, there you go, even better. So what's funny is I have a great friend who was a teacher for a while. Well, she's PC connected somehow, and you cannot say now that you are a challenged that you have differing needs, right? You can't say that this is a student that is mathematically challenged or athletically challenged. You have to say, oh, this is a child of differing needs. Well, we're all different needs. I'm a freaking retard when it comes to calculus and physics. But
right.
That,
Well, that handy-capable crap. I mean, I don't, for whoever doesn't already know that I'm, legally blind. I love to say, well, I'm
You're not
handicapped.
blind. I'm joking.
That I'm handicapped. And people look at me like, oh, she must have misspoken. I go, no, I'm handicapped.
Okay, so can I tell you something? My mother ran a group association home in Arizona for a long time. She and one of her best friends, her name was Judy Sefton, and my mother was the caregiver, and Judy was the nurse. And she was a licensed private nurse. What I thought was interesting, though, is that they had a person who had CP, cerebral palsy, who worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to wear this shirt all the time that said, hire the handicapped, they're fun to watch. And people found that offensive. But I'm like, okay, if you're handicapped and you're wearing the shirt, what the hell do you care, mister? I'm walking upright and, and pushing. So it's interesting how sometimes, though, and I'm sorry, this is not about food, but we'll relate it back to it somehow, some way. We get offended, because there's this guilt associated with not being in that condition. And it's a guilt. It comes from this natural desire, right? This innate desire to make people feel better about themselves. But can I tell you the easiest way to make people feel better about their life is to feed them really damn good food.
That's right. That's right. That's the great equalizer, isn't it?
It is. And so, people think, I'm a big, a very large voice, proponent, speaker, pontificant of the ultimate quote that you are what you eat. Right. So if you are fed with care, with love, and you feed others with care and love, virtually and literally, then it changes people's lives. It does.
Oh, that's a more beautiful way of saying it. That I was thinking, I just need to eat less fat.
Yeah. Hey, can I tell you? This camera does not make me look skinny, but it doesn't make me look fat. So I'm really grateful. Thank you, camera 2, for the new angle. Jeff, good call on lining that stuff up with the back wall instead of the front of the table. Because, I look at least 8 pounds lighter, but I've gained like 1.5 pounds. So, yeah, virtually, I'm down to like 209. But in reality, I'm up to 214, so we're good. Love you. Appreciate. Oh, so Jeff changes the angle. All right. I love you, but you're an ass with one S, an ass. Jeff, no, you're a handsome. You're a handsome being. Thank you. He's a cool looking ginger, can I tell you? He's got that scruffy looking beard, like gray and ginger mixed in there. I'm just
and he knows the magic of TV.
And Jeff from the past life at the other place, and his assistance in producing Doc's show and being quite a character over there. I don't bring up that old name was a terrible tagline, by the way, because he's anything but that. Jeff is the man. He's the brain. He's been a great mentor in the few weeks he's been here. He has taught me many things, not just about what I do, but perhaps how I should, in the best way possible, do it, and what I should be aiming for. He's been in this business years and years, and thanks, Jeff, for coming on board, and Ron for having the insight to bring him in and make him part of the family. So anyway, all right.
Love you, Jeff.
Look, I'm sorry you're not here, but let's talk about how we met. Right? We met in a very not awkward way, but not the way that most people meet, right? I put out a call to action to Doc's listeners at on the other format that said, hey, you call me. This is my personal number. This is my email address. I will call you back or email you back. We will set up a 30-minute exploratory phone call. I will help you do that. I will do the best that I can do to help you explore and expand your business. And that was it. There's no obligation, no cost, anything like that. And we met, almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago in August or September when we met, right? September, actually.
I think so, yeah. And it was like, oh, I should talk to Patrick.
Because he's a sucker from upstate New York. I can take advantage. No, because you know what? I care more about the success of other individuals' in ventures than I do about my own. And that may be a weak point, but for me, it's a strength. You know, I've always looked to hire employees that could outgrow me. The best chef I ever trained is by far 10 times better than I will ever be. Miles Uehara, by the way. That is you out in San Diego. I have no pride in what I do. I have pride and cheer. I have joy in what I help others achieve. So you had an interesting business model, though, may I tell you. This is perhaps the most challenging business model I've ever confronted in the food service industry. And I'm sorry, hey, if you're looking for Wind Down Wednesdays today, it ain't going to happen because, I'm sorry, Laura Geen, actually her son, Jake, wonderful young man, goes to the University of Arkansas up in Fayetteville. His car died. They have terrible storms going on, not hurricanes, but tornadoes everywhere. She went to pick him up, said, I'm sorry. And so I put Pat on the spot and said, hey, could you call in? Fill some time. But you know, we met under those conditions and we chatted for like an hour the first time. As a matter of fact, I was in Austin working that weekend.
Yeah, and, I overstayed my welcome.
No, you didn't actually. You didn't. We're almost 2 years into this, and you have not overstayed your welcome. As a matter of fact, you are going to contribute some very significant content to this channel. So no, not at all. I thank Doc for giving me the opportunity to meet you, and for your persistence, because I can be, again, not just an ass on a day-to-day basis, but once you fall through the cracks. And I stop responding, I could be a little bit more of an ass. And you have been very persistent and very kind in following up. And it's been worthwhile, I can tell you. So, but anyway, we talked about, you had a very interesting and very cool, unique model, a food service model that I had never heard of before. Now, I don't want to say never heard of, but I'd never heard of anyone making a business out of this business, right? Which is specialize.
Before we go too far, I still haven't managed to make that a thing. It's a thing, but not in a. I can advertise it, and it's you know.
Hey, listen.
It's not turning the money like I was hoping it was.
Hey, Pat, no, stop. You're always perception is reality. You're a badass. Okay. They don't know any different. Okay. You're a badass. I'm a badass. They don't know. They don't know that this show host quaking in his shoes every day, taking a deep breath and pretending not to take a shot of bourbon so he can make it through the show, which I don't actually. I even forgot my water today. I have no idea what I do with my water bottle, but I'm just saying, don't let the fans know unless you have to let the fans know. That's not Doc's rule number 6, but I can tell you Doc's rule number 6 was don't share with the guest what you think they want to hear. Tell them what you want them to know that you believe in and have conviction. You know, so you tell it with passion, basically. And that was the biggest.
Well, yeah.
You know, you can tell those days when I'm trying to tell stories, like I'm trying to read stories. There was one recently about this not stupid. It was a very important device, this portable gluten monitor, right? It was an allergen monitor, not just gluten. But I read the story. I'm like, okay, gluten. In my back of my mind, and forgive me those who are gluten intolerant, but I'm like, damn gluten intolerance. What the hell? Just eat some damn pizza. Go to Italy. You'll be fine, right? Because it's true. It's not gluten. It's the for the most part, for most people, except that very minute cross-section of America. It's not about gluten. It's about the chemicals involved in killing the wheat and harvesting early. And then,
Right.
making the flour. So, but that's how I felt. And I recited the story anyway. And I paid for it. That was just a week ago. And I had to apologize.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was about that gluten monitor, the portable thing. Because here's the thing. I read through the story 3 times. And because I was not interested, I got it. It's no big deal. I'll find the name of the company that produced it later. Okay. The name of the company that produced it, and not even the damn story. I had to hunt outside the story to find the manufacturer so I could highlight that product later and say, look, I failed. Here's the product name, the number, the company. Call them if you want this. It's a very valuable product. But you know what? That's the thing. When you are not passionately engaged with the message, then neither is the listener. Yeah. It's not about what you think they want to hear. It's about what you want them to know and what you want to share with them. That's the bigger thing. And I know, okay, this is one of those this is not a Monday afternoon show where it's been a long weekend. I worked 42 hours from Friday to Monday. No, I don't care about that. This is a show where I'm trying to, explain why I do this show. Because I could be a restaurant chef. I could be a consultant, but I could never impact the number of diners and restaurateurs as I can on this show. And I don't mean I'm not trying to impact you and influence you in a way that says, oh, you have to do this. No, it's like elevate your level of service because you care about the guest. And this is why you should. What is your why, right? And on the guest side, it's like, know what you want and identify that. Don't expect them to read your mind and say thank you. And please, if necessary. That's all. That's the only rules I have. Besides, don't touch the bottom of the cup, the bottom half of the cup, if you're a server, nor the top of the cup. That is not your half. Yeah. The bottom of the half.
Get your fingers out of there.
Oh my God! The bottom of halfway down is yours, halfway up is mine. End of story. We are not elaborating. Just don't do it. I love you. Do not do it again. I might come back. I'll say I won't, but I will. All right. So.
I've waited tables. I hear exactly what you say.
But look, Pat, you're I'm going to guess just a few years old, just a couple, and you've been in this industry, and you grew up like I did. My family was modest. We made everything at home. Yeah. We didn't go out to dinner. We didn't buy pies. We didn't order birthday cakes. Which was fine with me because my mom's red velvet was the baddest ass cake ever. Yeah, I challenge all of my siblings, anyone of them, please make mom's red velvet cake. If you can duplicate it, I will. What would I do? I will send you on a journey of your destination of your choice for your birthday for the next at least 1 year, maybe 2, if I get a paycheck between now and 2 years out. Yeah. Jeff's laughing like you're ever to get paid for what you talk about, Patrick. I love you, Jeff. Okay, so I tease Jeff, but Jeff is really he's the consummate professional. I'm telling you.
I didn't mean to interrupt your story about our.
You didn't, about Jeff. That requires comment. You say, "Oh man, thank you," or "F you," whichever.
It's all good.
It's all good. Okay, that was damn, you're an ass.
No, it's one of those things where my check doesn't clear. Then I've
no,
got
we love you, Jeff.
Hey, the thing is, I didn't sign it. That's up to Ron or Beth, one or the other. I would sign it, but I'm not allowed. I'm not a director in the company. Although we have equal voice. That doesn't matter. Yeah. So, look, all of this aside, what in the hell is your show going to be about? Can you tell me? Real food, real people. What does that mean?
Real food, real people.
What should we expect?
And, well, even though I have personally cooked, professionally, that was many years ago, and most of my years I've cooked for my family. My mother worked full-time and cooked for her family. Even though both of my parents were professionals, actually they were the first college graduates in either of their families. We were Italian. We, the old school, lots of pasta, plain food, not fancy Just the real, you ate at the table every night, no excuses. Just, the old thought, the real food. But today,
Wait. So
maybe I'm
wait.
being,
We're talking about sit the hell down, shut up, and eat your food.
well, not quite like that, but that was understood. Yes.
So wait, on that note though, did you? I know you have more to talk about, but we have 12 minutes left. So, did you have a choice in what you ate for dinner as a child, or did they just give you what you had?
No.
You had to eat it, and at least eat a little bit of everything, and then you could be, excused.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we had to eat. I mean, it was not a restaurant in our house. It was like, this is what's for dinner. Like, what's for dinner? We couldn't even ask what was for dinner. Gracias Dios. It was the graces of God. Shut up.
Did it come back out for breakfast? Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Did it come back out for breakfast the next morning if you didn't finish it?
We didn't have that rule, but in all honesty, we pretty much liked everything Mom made. So it wasn't so much a problem in our house.
Well,
yeah.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, and she didn't gear it towards us. We just liked her food.
Well, that's a good thing, and maybe she did. So she geared it towards her former generation's palates, right? She probably carried over recipes from the past, and look. Children get their eating habits. I'm going to tell you, look, all you listeners out there, the majority of children will take their eating habits from their, Jeff, what do you think? Their aunt, their uncle, their mother, father, grandfather, their dog.
It'd be the dad.
It'd be the dad. Yep. 90% of children of what they eat is influenced by their father's intake.
Really? Huh.
But in most traditional families in the past, anyway, it didn't matter what the mother cooked or the person who cooked for the family, the dad would eat it. Didn't matter if the biscuits were burnt, the gravy was lumpy, the chicken fried steak was overdone. They ate it, right?
That was true, and my father never complained about my mother cooking in front of us, anyway.
Yeah, my dad was an ass in many ways. And Donald Lee Mosher, I love you to death. I didn't know you as my other siblings did because I'm much younger, but I'll tell you, he never complained about a meal. It didn't matter if it was good, ugly, bad. And Mom, you were an amazing cook, so whatever you said, who cares? I'll tell you, but it's a bygone era, right? We have many choices nowadays, and very few people, not very few, fewer people cook at home. So...
Right.
How do we re-inspire these? So this is my challenge. How do we re-inspire people to challenge themselves to cook a meal for their family? How do we do that without? Look, I don't believe in dumbing things down. I believe in simplifying things. There's a huge difference because no one in this country is dumb. If you're dumb, you didn't try, you didn't care, and that's on you. All right, I don't care. Pick yourself up, and I'll talk to you later. But
well, I was going to say Holly and I approached that in different directions.
Who's Holly? I'm joking. By the way,
yeah.
That was a really good demo. By the way, you guys are funny.
Oh. Well, one of the things that she is good at is she preps for the entire week on the weekend. And she and I need to talk a little more about it because I'm not that organized. But I know part of that is, saving money. And
what? Saving
so
money?
They don't eat out. I know. And me, I approach that from a different direction since I'm so disorganized and last minute. But ultimately, the end product is the same. We end up saving money, and sometimes we have to do big projects on the weekend, like, because the hunter. Sometimes we're butchering a deer on the weekend, or I'm making a huge pot of stock that we can, or canning the tomatoes. But then you've got all this stuff. So I have different kind of time than Holly does because Holly works and I'm at home. So that's other things that we're going to talk about in the show is making, because there are a lot of people that work full time. How can you come home and bring a meal to your family that you have prepared, without knocking yourself out. So I'm hoping
No, I like
that'll be
that.
part of it.
So that's another thing. So Holly, I know she's working. She can't really comment, but participate in the call. But she's like, my dad ate a lot. I would never eat. Well, that's true. A lot. There are other factors, right? But it's not about eating a lot or eating a little. It's about the variety in your diet is typically determined by the father in the family. If the father was an adventurous eater, the children would typically follow suit, and if not, then not. She says, share your mom's recipe. I'm not sure what that was in reply to. Could have been yours. Could have been mine. I don't know. But this is going to be a lot of fun. And for the next week or two, I would love if we can pick a day where you can both call in and give your share your recipes that may be a little different from mine, right? Maybe simpler, maybe even better, more acceptable. I would love that. And then I don't know when we're going to launch your show. It's going to be very, very, very soon. Within the very max is 3 weeks, because you've already got a couple of ideas, and we'll start recording this weekend. But
oh yeah. And one of the reasons I thought about this was I want to learn what other people. We also would like to interview some other people. I want to pick other people's brains. I've always cooked kind of by the seat of my pants. And I only just in the last few years learned that there is a formula for gravy. Now, I could cook a 10-gallon pot of beef gravy in a commercial kitchen. I could not make a quart of gravy at home.
There's no.
And finally, I learned. I think it was Trisha Yearwood on the Food Network that said, was it 2-1-1 or
2-1-1.
No, I'm not even sure about that. I'm so nervous, but I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that.
So can I tell you, I actually met her at the Mohegan Sun Wine and Food Festival about 2.5 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And Mark Conway, who's the host of Family Meal, and I were there with a representative from Innovative Group, Jama Schiffer. And Mark and I, I'll tell you, we actually tried to introduce a show that would revolve around the launch of our new cookbooks, and it was a couple of segments, a couple of months long, and we unfortunately were not opportunistic, and the timing was a little wrong. But it's amazing how many country stars, athletes, musicians in general are involved in the food service industry. I mean, look, you have what's his name, Bo Jackson, right? Nobody knows Bo. Bo don't know Bo. Bo don't know Jack. Bo don't know Diddley. That was what it was. Bo don't. But he knows basketball, football, and baseball. So shut up and let him play. And then you have Nolan Ryan, greatest pitcher ever, right? He has not just Nolan Ryan's beef line, but he these amazing steaks, by the way. But he has a company that is a hospitality industry company that manages these huge sporting events venues. The largest sporting event venue in North America, which is the Circuit of the Americas down in Austin. He manages that. That's COTA. They do the only F1 or the only Indy car racing in America anymore in U.S. So we have all these amazing people, venues, ventures, and where do you consolidate those voices? Right here on Spoony Radio.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you think?
No, I mean whether it's me just giving my sharing my experience as a chef and giving my personal opinion, or it's you as and Holly, whoever you guys may be, sharing these wonderful family meal plans, and we talked about real food for real people, right? Or if it's Ed, the wonderful Ed. I'm sorry, I know your last name. I can say it, but Ed is the corporate chef for Nolan Ryan. Whether you're talking about the event space, that amazing racetrack down there, or simply the Nolan Ryan Meats line, and Bo Jackson to boot. Bo Jackson has 4 lines of foods, which I won't go too into because I'd love to be the rep, but we teach people to love what they eat. That's even more important, I think, in feeding other. Learn to love what you eat. learn. And if what you're eating is not delicious, it's not good, it's not healthful, it's not inspiring, or at least tasteful, it's it's okay.
Yeah.
Then don't do it. Don't do it.
And they're not all gems, but, they can't all be winners. But, as long as you're hitting it, 75% of the time.
Hey, as long as New York City does not succeed in taking away my weenies, meaning my hot dogs, I'm happy. Did you hear about that story? Did you hear that on Monday? Can I tell? New York City is trying to legislate that you can no longer eat potted meat or hot dogs in the city of New York, or at least at a city venue, right?
No. That's going to cause a revolution. That is like the dumbest thing.
Well, okay, they may be silly and dumb, but they're trying to get rid of sulfites and sulfates in the consumption of food within the city's managed buildings. I get that, okay? But at least
and I
give
understand
a choice.
The point, but
give a choice.
People.
Oh, look, if you take my sobrats away, New York City, as a card-carrying official resident of New York, born, raised, mostly raised, and bred, I love you, but if you take away Sabret hot dogs, I can't say what I want to say. I will never come back. Okay, except during certain times of year when I can do really cool things, like in upstate New York, like Saratoga Springs, during the season at the, but I will never go to the city again. More than likely, unless I need to eat at Gotham Bar and Grill or a couple other places. But I will never. Okay, well, look, just screw you. Don't mess with my food. I love my hot dogs. Gray's Papaya is the best thing ever. Don't mess with them. And if you mess with James Coney Island, really, you need to go away.
Yeah.
The whole city. All right. Hey, Pat, I love you. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
I gotta go, but we'll talk to you, I'm sure, off the air tomorrow. I look forward to your show. Thank you very much. All right. Hey, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Not necessarily an awkward, but an interesting show today. We'll catch up with Wind Down Wednesdays on Thursday tomorrow, because I'm going to hold Laura responsible. Love y'all. Cheers to you. Ciao for now.